What is up guys, Wraec is here with a new video, and today we are once again going to talk about Starland Arena. Starland Arena is currently in its Season 2 that is going to end in 6.5 hours. As you can see, it's basically the last day, the last chance to push up some ranks in those leaderboards. But that's not really what I'm going to talk about. It's mostly the question whether or not this game mode has changed in comparison to the first season. The first season, I made a video about that, and I was pretty surprised that the game mode worked in the way it did. It worked pretty badly, and basically the problem with it was that you could pretty easily farm up the leaderboards by just having a few friends that took out their defense lineup and had about the same points as you. So if you coordinated your attacks, you could basically have 2-3 friends all around the same points, and then coordinated everybody does an attack at the same time, searches again, finds the same people, because that's how the matchmaking works. Gives you people around the general point scale that you have. So if your friends have, like, I have at the moment 11,915 points, and you have a friend with 11,910 points or the same points as you will most likely find them. And as you can set any defense lineup you want, you can just attack people that don't have a defense lineup, effectively eliminating every single bit of PvP that was in this so-called PvP game mode, and making this entire thing a grind fest. So, after the first season, after I made this video, I pretty much thought they are going to fix this for the next season. And well, as you might have noticed, seeing the people I attacked here with those super strong 8 million attack or 8 million power defense lineups, that is not the case. That is not the case. Actually, they didn't touch the base mechanics of this at all. So the tactic I just described, and I described in my last video as well, that still works. You just have to reach 2,500 points, you unlock escorts, and then you can basically just take your defense lineup in or out as however you want it. When you want to make your push on the day, you just take it out, your friends take it out, you do your attacks, and basically progress. If you want a more detailed explanation, just watch my last video on Starland Arena. I listed it all in that. Basically no reason to put it in here again. And all the mechanics, you can still hide some lineups, which is, well, nice to a degree. It's a design decision. We still have those amulets, quite a lot of those. Those amulets did change, and I'm not too happy with this change as well. It's something we can look over right now as well. So basically the way those amulets works is, it is basically a buff for your team. You can set one amulet per team, and this amulet will provide you with an effect. And last time they basically worked in a way that you had one effect. The basic ones here still have only one effect. And that effect was triggered at E- or above. If you had an awakened hero with E- or above, which is required to play this game out, so really not a new requirement at all. And for the later ones, there was a second effect, and the second effect was triggered if you had a C- or above. And that was basically it. As long as you had a C- or above, you were basically good and had all the effects from the amulets that you could get. And looking back right now, I'm pretty surprised that I wasn't surprised about this, because, like, that's not really a greedy move, isn't it? So, obviously they changed that, and the way they changed that is that you now have a scale on this for that buff, and it depends on which tier, awakening tier, your highest hero has, and then you basically get the buff. And this scale is, by the way, it's super funny. C- to C+, 20%, B- to B+, 26%, so 6% points more. A- to A+, 32%, that's alright. And then it starts getting weird. We have S tier, which is 38, SS 40%, and SSS 45%. So like half of those buff numbers are just for S tier, which is absolutely weird. I have no idea why they did that. It's like they could have said, okay, it's S to SSS, then they get 38%. I would have said, okay, still pretty bad, but yeah, I get it. You want people to buy S tier heroes. It's alright. But that thing, it's like, if you have an A-, you get 32%. If you have an SSS, it's 45. 45, like more than double what C- to C+ gets. That's a bit too much, I think. That's really insane, and I don't know why one small step here from 38 to 40%, and then it's from 40 to 45. And SSS, there is just one player that has SSS heroes, and he has all of them. It's basically the Artorias scale. If you are Artorias, here you go, 45% buffs, and I don't want to talk bad about Artorias, nice guy. But it's like, it's so weird. It's so weird why they do that. And so unnecessary. Nobody said last time, yeah, let's change it. So it was basically like this. You can see it, Awakened Tier C- or buff, they didn't really change the text, but now you have the scale, and the buff is basically bigger for your highest hero. And it's quite a difference. This one that we have here, when an ally's HP is less than 50% for the first time, increases their damage reduction by 20%. And it is quite a difference if you get 20% damage reduction or if you get 45. 45 is 3/4 of the cap of damage reduction. It's insane how much that is. And this is just one buff, it's a one-time buff. We can look at this one, for example. This one is actually a pretty good one. When the ally takes active skill or basic tech, increases self-armor by 25% for 2 rounds. And 25% armor increase, and for SSS it would be 60%. So one of the heroes gets hit, it's 60% armor increase. So it's like if you have like 2 or 3 pandas in your team, and they just scale your armor every time a hero gets hit. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane, those buffs. And I mean, we could talk about that more, but as I said, there is no PvP here. This thing worked the same as last time. You just took some friends, and then you basically go ham and attacked people that had no defense lineup. You can see that we did that here with a lot of nice guys from my guild that helped me do that. And you can see the defense lineups here. There is no fight. Those are single E5 heroes. And of course you could say like, yeah, then don't do that. Yeah, but why? You attack teams, and the first person does it and he gets place 1. And if you want to compete for place 1, you either do that or you will at one point gain a loss. And if you at one point gain a loss, you are no longer perfect. And if you're no longer perfect, you have no chance at place 1. And that is the reality of it. And that is quite sad, and that's not what a game mode should be about. I would much rather really compete for it. Have it not be such a harsh consequence to lose a fight. It can happen that you lose a fight, and build some nice teams around those amulets. Like, some of those amulets are cool, and some armor scaling teams build a surviving team. That would be something I would really like, and I would really like to have a competitive game mode. But in the way that this game mode is built, it's just grindy. You do your attacks every day, and I hate it, honestly. I hate it because the coordination is exhausting, and you do it, and it's nice people and they do their best, but still you sit there every day doing your attacks, and I absolutely hate it. I absolutely hate it. The thing is, last time I suggested that they just give you some minus points if you lose a fight. And people hated that. People hated that, and the reason they said was, well, it was a good reason for it. And I can understand it. A lot of people try to grind up to get to the reward point where they get the higher daily loot, one of those like 4,500 points or something like that, season rewards, and they try to get into those places, those numbers, and try to get their basic loot. And this would be hard for them to get to the 2,500 points, get the frame. And I kind of understand that if you're like free to play, don't have a lot of heroes, getting minus points, getting farmed, and then losing a lot of your loot, that would feel bad. That would really feel bad, and is of course something that would be a problem with negative points. One thing that could of course be done to combat that, make it so that you only start losing points after you reach like 3,500 points or 4,500 points. Make it 4,500 points, give the people the highest loot possible, and then make it competitive and let people start losing points. And then we can fight and see who's really the best person. That would be cool. Make it worth it for me to go in there and attack, let's say, Red 7 and make him lose some points. That would be cool. I don't even know if I can. Well, yes, obviously I can. This is a bait team though. Has 118 million strength. There are some teams behind here, but like, you see that? He's not even going for the win. And that is the same with most of it. The thing is, that is smart. That is really smart. You can get the win here. You will always get the win here. But one of those teams is super strong. And if you lose against this super strong team, you lose 5 points. And if you lose 5 points, as I said, you will no longer get place 1. And you might not even get top 10. So that is like the way to play it now. As sad as it is, that is the way to play it. What does Jesus do? Yes, the same. That is the strategy. It's a 200, is it? Yeah, a 246 million strength defense lineup, and you have to understand those are 2 heroes and those are 3. So 5 heroes in there with 246 million strength, basically. So that is really the meta. That is how you play it. Make somebody stupid lose 5 points. And I really would love to make that more competitive, to let people lose some points. You can talk about that. Last time I really got flamed for that idea. So I would say, let me know in the comments what you think about my idea. Make people lose points if they lose a fight, or if they lose a defensive battle after reaching 4,500 points. So everybody can get their max daily loot. Everybody can get a frame for the points in the season reward. It's absolutely possible. But afterwards it gets competitive and you start losing points if you lose a battle. So, what do you think about that idea? Do you think the age will ever change the game mode? Or do you think they will keep it that way? I think they will keep it that way. I think they just won't change it. Because if so, they would have experimented with it from the end of the first season to the second season. They had a lot of time to change things. They knew the problems with it and they didn't do anything. I don't think they will. But still, I like to fantasize about some of those ideas. Maybe see if our game mode could be better. So let me know what you think. And anyway, guys, I wish you a great day and we will see us in the next one.